people often ask me, what's the value in lucid dreaming? Why would a person want to lucid dream? So first I have to say that lucid dreaming in and of itself is simply fun. You become lucidly aware, and then you can fly through the dream space. You can walk through walls. You can walk into water. You can talk to dream figures. You can ask them what they represent. You can explore the dream space while consciously aware. But I'd say probably the first value and potential of lucid dreaming is accessing inner creativity. And so here's some examples of how lucid dreamers use that. Oftentimes, lucid dreamers who are in the arts will use lucid dreaming to be inspired or access creativity. So a lucid dreamer who's involved in painting might announce, once they become consciously aware within a dream, now let me see the most incredible art I can create. And suddenly on the nearby walls, art will begin to appear. And these artists will examine the lucid dream art that's appeared in their lucid dream, and they'll remember it. And upon waking, they'll make some sketches and then later produce this. Oftentimes, these lucid dream artists have found that their lucid dream art sells the best. It seems to be the most desired by others. I've had a novelist who writes novels for a living tell me that when he gets stuck writing a novel, he'll try to have a lucid dream. And when he becomes aware within a dream that he's dreaming, then he'll call out for the novel characters to appear. And suddenly the novel characters will appear, and he'll ask them, how do we make this book work better? Or what should we do next in the book? And oftentimes the novel characters will tell him how to make the book better, how to make it more interesting or more surprising or more joyful. I've had musicians tell me that they've become aware within lucid dreams and announced, when I go into that next building, I'm going to hear the most amazing music I could ever create. And they walk into that building and begin to hear this truly profound, phenomenal music. They're accessing their own inner creativity. And in one of the books by Stephen LaBerge, he shares the story of a computer programmer who said that whenever he got stuck doing a program, he would try to have a lucid dream. And in the lucid dream, he would call on Albert Einstein to appear. And often Albert Einstein would appear, and they would sit at a table and try to figure out the problem in the software program. And he said once they figured it out, he'd tell Albert Einstein to go away so he could memorize the solution. This gentleman said that when he took it to the office, 99% of the time it was correct. So again, lucid dreaming allows us to access that inner creativity directly. But you have to know how to go about it in order to really understand and utilize that. Also, another potential of lucid dreaming, I feel, is promoting emotional health. So in this magazine called The Lucid Dreaming Experience, which I co-edit, I interviewed a woman named Hope. And Hope had been involved in an industrial accident and lost her leg. She spent 6 months in the hospital recovering from this accident. And she said the worst thing that happened was that she began to have nightmares every night. She said it actually got so bad that she hated to fall asleep. Then one day she was out at a bookstore and discovered a book on lucid dreaming. And as she began to read it, she realized that lucid dreaming might help her with this recurring nightmare. So it was later that week, she was being chased in her nightmare once again, but all of a sudden it occurred to her, wait a second, I'm running, but I only have one leg. And at that moment, she realized it was a dream. And so for the first time ever, she turned and faced the monster who was chasing her. And she just looked at it, knowing that it was a dream creation, and said, bye, and took off flying away. She said after that, her nightmares basically ceased. So again, that's just one example of how people have used lucid dreaming to resolve recurring nightmares. But I've also heard about how other lucid dreamers have used it to resolve phobias, fear of public speaking, fear of insects, fear of heights, those kind of things. I've seen how lucid dreamers have also told me examples of how they've used it to resolve anxiety or resolve obsessive compulsive habits. So lucid dreaming has a lot of potential here in this area of emotional healing, I feel. Now, beyond that, there's also the idea of lucid dreaming to promote physical healing. In my first book and my second book, I have a chapter on how lucid dreamers have, while they're consciously aware within the dream, promoted their physical health. So a gentleman sent a story to my magazine, The Lucid Dreaming Experience. His name is Ray, and he had what people call GERD, which stands for gastroesophageal reflux disorder. So basically, you have so much acid and burning that it's hard to sleep at night. In fact, Ray found that he couldn't sleep laying down. He had to sleep propped up, sitting upright. He had been to doctors to try to have the GERD resolved. He had taken all sorts of prescribed medicines to try to get the GERD resolved, but for years, nothing really improved it. So reading my book, he realized that, perhaps in a lucid dream, he could try to promote his physical health and resolve the situation. He became lucid the first time, and he really hadn't devised a plan. And so he tried to just suggest that he would feel better. And he said that he woke up and he did feel a little bit better. But then he went back and reread the chapter and realized that he had to really devise a plan in the waking state to enact in his next lucid dream. So later he became lucidly aware. He stabilized the lucid dream. He remembered that he wanted to try to heal his GERD, and he went on and had a profound, incredible lucid dream experience. He said when he woke up from that, he realized that he was physically different, and he realized that his GERD had disappeared. I talked to him last year, and that situation of his GERD disappearing had continued for 7 or 8 years. He said he was truly stunned by that example. But besides promoting physical health in that way, lucid dreamers have also received prescriptive advice on things they could do that would improve their health. And also they've received diagnostic advice, sometimes received information about health issues that they needed to address while consciously aware in the lucid dream. So here's another wide open area for lucid dreaming's potential. So besides all of that, lucid dreaming also allows us to access an inner awareness. I call my first book Lucid Dreaming Gateway to the Inner Self, because after 10 years of lucid dreaming, I realized that in a lucid dream, you could ignore the dream figures and simply ask a question of your unconscious mind. Like, hey, dream, show me something important for me to see. And oftentimes the entire lucid dream would change and you would be looking at something important for you to see. So I have explored this very deeply, and as have many other people, and you begin to realize that there is a responsive awareness that you can access within the lucid dream. Oftentimes you'll hear a non-visible voice give you the response. Sometimes the entire lucid dream will change, but you can even have a conversation with this inner awareness. Lucid dreaming also has potential in exploring the nature of reality. So we know oftentimes in dreams that space and time aren't exactly like they are in physical reality. In a dream, we can be in our childhood schoolroom with our current friends. Again, the nature of time is different. Or we can find ourselves in France. And how did we get there? The nature of space is different. So in lucid dreams, you can begin to explore the nature of space-time, the nature of reality, the nature of how the unconscious mind actually functions to create experience. And that's truly a fantastic and deep area.